Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody today? Sorry, getting that plugged in, getting ready to roll. Just got loaded down here in Brownsville. It is about 9:15. And I tried to record a little earlier today and got a couple phone calls, kept getting interrupted, so I figure I'll talk to you right now. It is September, I think the 5th. And, you know, I got some unpopular views on things. And what I'm going to talk to you about is probably the most unpopular opinion that I have on anything to do with the trucking industry. I have been a truck driver for 25 years. I started in January of 1999. And I went to a 3-week driving course down in Stuttgart, Arkansas. Headed out February with a trainer. My stepdad slipped into a coma, went home, did the funeral, went back to work. And I see a lot of things going on. Even back then, didn't really understand, and it was drilled into me. And getting older, little different work ethic, little different mindset. But the days are getting shorter, the nights are getting longer, the weather's getting colder. And it won't be long before we get into the white stuff. And that's what I want to talk to you about. Winter driving. Look, folks, trucking is not for the weak-minded and it's not for the weak-hearted. This is a dangerous profession. We see that every day. People not knowing what they're doing, causing all kinds of issues for everybody. Wintertime is no joke when you're in a semi-truck. I grew up with a bunch of people, mostly the women in my family, did not drive. As soon as bad weather hit, they parked their car and that was it. And we don't have that option in a truck, or at least not like they do. Sometimes you will find yourself in a situation where you gotta go and the roads aren't pristine. I know a lot of guys will say, I don't throw iron, I don't put chains on, yada yada, all this and that. I say, go home. Go do something else. I never gave it much thought until I started spotting trailers. And I was in and out of the office a lot. And I heard a lot of conversations. And the company I drive for, he's like, I can't tell them to go if it's bad weather. And I'm like, well, why not? You're the boss. Do what you want. I says, and if you don't feel comfortable telling them to go in bad weather, at least feel comfortable finding somebody who wants to drive a truck. This is a year-round job. We deal with year-round weather. Rain, snow, sleet, hail, high winds, tornadoes, hurricanes. We deal with it all. And if you are a professional driver, then you need to be prepared to drive in it all. That's my take on it. I don't believe in shutting down because you get a little snow. If the roads are open and you're sensible and you have a sensible load, you need to drive. I'm not saying there's never a reason to shut down. Okay, I believe that there are times when, depending on road conditions, traffic conditions, what you're hauling justifies stopping your truck and going to bed. Lack of experience, I understand. You're tired, you're not at the top of your game, whatever, I get it. But that should not be our default, is to just pull over and go to bed. Our default should be, the man hired me, pull the load, I'm going to pull the load. I have shut down due to weather, mostly high winds more than anything. I used to run out across Wyoming all the time, and I'd be really light going out. Sometimes I'd be really light coming back, and they would have the sign up, no light trucks, and I would use my discretion, and sometimes I would stop, and sometimes it'd be like, man, I gotta go. And it is dangerous, and yes, when you get in the truck, you take your life into your own hands, and no one should force you to do anything you're not comfortable with. But at some point, you need to get comfortable with your ability and with your equipment that you can go. If you're not comfortable driving a truck in all weather, you need to work on that. And if you can't get yourself to a point where you're comfortable driving in all weather, you probably should look for a different profession or move down south where there ain't no snow. Get you a little local job and drive around town all day. I'm of the opinion that as a truck driver, we should be the best drivers on the road. We should be ready to handle whatever comes in every situation. You're not going to get there when you start. You're not going to get there overnight. It's going to take time, but you need to work on it. When I met my wife, she did not drive at all. And I told her, I said, look, that don't work for me. I said, I work long hours. I'm away from home. Sometimes I'm out overnight. That's rare occasion. Very rare. I says, but if something happens, you need to be ready to go. And we live in the country, so it's not close to anything. If one of the kids need to go to the doctor, it's a 30-40 minute drive. That's good weather. Need to go to the hospital, 30-40 minute drive. We don't have a hospital close. Pediatrician's not close. We got one grocery store in town and about $5 generals. Okay, we got $3 generals. But there's 5 of them in that 30-40 mile drive. So, I told her, I said, you got to be able to go. You got to be able to take care of the home when I'm gone. If I need something from a parts store or from the farm store, you got to be able to go pick it up because I don't have time when I'm off work. So I started teaching her to drive. The first winter, we got a big parking lot in town. First winter, I took her downtown. I took every vehicle we owned, except for the motorcycle. She won't learn to ride a motorcycle, but, I took the cars, both the cars in the pickup. I got no farm truck. Then I got my old car that I drive back and forth to work, and then she's got her car. And I took her to town in every one of them, and I got her in that parking lot, and I had her get in the driver's seat. And I told her, I said, now just stomp it to the floor. And she did, and it's fun. And, you know, they all acted different. I said, now get going through the parking lot about 25, 30 mile an hour. And she did. And I said, now nail the brake. She did. And, you know, I says, I want you to feel what it feels like when something goes wrong. And then I had her do it the proper way. I had her start and stop and turn and all that stuff. And I got her a feel for how a car acts in bad weather. So she can drive any vehicle we got in bad weather. We got out. We was at church. I had my old pickup. I had to haul something for somebody, and she had her car. We got to church. They wasn't calling for anything. Well, by the time we got out of church, we was in quite a bit of snow. It had covered the roads and everything. And she had to drive home with a baby in the car. And I had every confidence in her to do so because I took her when she didn't have to. And I taught her what to do. And I got her on the phone. We got the hands free. So I said, I'll just talk you through it if you have any issues. And she drove 30, 40 minutes home, no problem. At night, in the snow. Made it safe and sound with our baby in the car. She didn't have any issues. I think she slipped once, she spun once, but because I showed her what to do in the parking lot, she knew how to respond to it on the road. I say that to say this. If you're not confident in your ability to drive a truck down the highway in the snow, the next time you get the opportunity and you're in a parking lot and it's snow covered, you need to get out and see what a truck will do. You ain't got to get stupid with it, but get out there, see what it's like when your trailer brakes lock up. See what it's like when you break traction in the truck. I remember years ago, I was coming through West Virginia, 2-lane back road. I was trying to get over the mountain, and all of a sudden, man, it started snowing like nobody's business. And I'm back there on a 2-lane, no shoulder, no place to pull over. What are you gonna do? Well, I get to the top. By the time I get to the top, it's snow covered. And I was like, man, it's getting slick. And I'd started slipping and sliding a little bit, but there's no place to stop. So, and before I made it to the top, I broke traction. I was spinning up the mountain, you know, just praying, Lord, don't let it stop. And I was able to make it over the mountain. Got there safe and sound. But if you drive long enough, you're going to find yourself in situations like that. And if every time it snows you park your truck when you don't have an option, you're going to be in trouble. My suggestion, while it's nice weather, get somewhere and learn how to do chains if your company allows chains. I know a lot of them now don't, because most drivers don't know how to use them or won't use them, which is just ridiculous. It should be part of your CDL training, I think. But learn how to put your chains on, because the first time you do it, you don't want it to be on the side of the road in the freezing rain, snow, in the middle of the night. And I've had to chain up, you know, on the side of the road. And you don't want to be trying to learn how to do something in that situation. You need to already know what you're doing. You need to feel comfortable in it. You need to know how to make sure they're tight. Find somebody that knows how to do it and have them help you. Now, it has been a while. I could probably use a refresher course. It's been a while since I had to put chains on, but I don't run out west no more. And now I got this run down to Tennessee and back. Last year, I think I had one trip where I got a little weather. But if you're going to drive cross country, you need to know how to drive cross country. I know this is a very unpopular opinion. Most people will tell you pull over and park, it's not worth your life. I say you took the job, do the job. No freight is worth my life. I agree. But you need to build a confidence, not arrogance, but you need to build a confidence that you can get out and run. So practice. You know, anytime it's winter time and you park and there's room, practice a little bit. What happens if you turn too fast? What happens if you get on the brakes too hard? What happens if the trailer brakes lock up? See how your truck reacts at slow speeds. It'll be exaggerated at a higher speed, but at least you'll have an idea. Then the tip for driving. Everybody says it's a speed. It's not the speed. Now, granted, you don't want to be stupid. You gotta use a little common sense. But it's not the speed that gets you on snow and ice. It's the quickness. Ease into the throttle, ease out of the throttle. Ease your steering wheel to the right, ease it to the left. The problem is, so many guys panic in that weather that when they hit snow and ice, they automatically, something goes wrong, they just want to yank their foot off the throttle and the truck bogs down and it breaks traction. Something happens in front of them, they yank the steering wheel to the right or to the left, their steer tires break traction, and now they're skidding straight and they can't steer. Everything you do in the winter time, when you're driving on snow and ice, you do it like you're stuck in molasses. You move slow. You slow down your reaction time. That's why you leave yourself more room. I see so many guys get out here and they're running nose to tail in snow and ice. Running nose to tail is not smart in any weather, but especially not in bad weather. If you can't see very good, back off. If the roads are slick, back off. Put space in between you and the people around you. If you find yourself in a situation to where you're in a group, 3, 4, 5, 10 trucks, doesn't matter how many, either speed up and get away from them or slow down and let them go. People always holler at me, tell me I drive too fast. Maybe I do, but it's not been an issue in 25 years. Not saying it can't happen, not saying it won't happen, okay? Because what I'm saying is, I would rather be out there by myself and have an accident as to have 4 guys plow into me when I have the accident at a slower speed. And if I got 4 guys in front of me and we're running nose to tail, if one of them mess up, I'm going to be caught in the middle of it. So either pass and go around them, and if you're not comfortable doing that, slow down, let them go, build that distance. But whatever you do, build your confidence in driving. And I know a lot of guys don't want to do it because it's more work and it's harder and it's stressful and yada yada. Well, then go home. It's a stressful job. I personally love wintertime and I love wintertime driving. I would a lot rather deal with that than probably anything else. The only thing I don't like about it is now I haul this pneumatic tanker and I have to be outside loading and unloading, and that does kind of wear me down in the cold. But get comfortable, gain confidence in what you do, and do your job with pride. don't want to drive in snow and ice, get you a job running the southern lanes. You don't want to drive in bad weather, go find another occupation. They're out there. But if you're going to call yourself a truck driver and you're going to do this for a living, you need to build the knowledge and confidence to do this for a living. I think the last time I shut down in bad weather was 2009. I think it was 2009. We had a big ice storm over here in southeast Missouri. It's all over southeast Missouri, Arkansas, I think parts of Tennessee, maybe some of Illinois. But I remember I was out running through the sleet and the rain and freezing rain and all that all day. I was doing a bunch of little short loads, you know, 50, 100 miles, and oh my goodness, I hate that stuff, but that's the job sometimes. And so I run into snow and ice all day, mostly ice. Then I getting close to the end of the day, I get over there to my last stop and I drop my load and I have to pick up an empty trailer. And running out of Kennett, I take off out of Kennett and I'm on 412 heading east to 55, and then I was going to run up 55. I don't remember exactly where I was going. I think Cape or something like that. And coming across 412, I could not keep the truck and trailer straight. It was just too much ice, no weight in the trailer, the wind blowing. The trailer was all over the place. So I got up to the truck stop in Hayti up on 55. And I told the boss, I said, look, I'm going to pull over. It's not wanting to go. And I'm going to take a nap. I'll get up early in the morning and I'll be in Cape. And I did. And of course, truck stop was about as full as they could get. And with the weather, I could barely get back into the spot. You know, so I understand there are times. Use your judgment. But don't be scared to get out there and work. It's our job. And like I said, I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm going to tell you, learn to drive in the snow and ice, learn to put on chains, do what you got to do and get the job done. And that's my view from the driver's seat. So as always, keep the shiny side up, greasy side down, and we catch you on the flip-flop. I'm gone.